with the Queen King of Hearts on the button, and I mean he may not know where he's at here, Michael. You know, Queen King is the kind of hand that can be far ahead or far behind. In this case, he's way in front.
Yeah, those middle to high cards, if they come on the flop, could be very interesting. There's a lovely, lovely flop here for London. He's got top pair with the second nut flush draw.
It's almost like if you could dream of the flop you want, that would be it.
That would be it. And also Tony's betting into him. Just a good flat call here would be the just what the doctor ordered, I think.
Gosh, Tony's in terrible trouble. He's look at those percentages. He's got 3% chance to win.
Wow.
This is not pretty.
This is nice play by London. He hasn't raised him. He's just flat called him. He knows he's winning at the moment. Wow, that's even better. Even better.
It is, although interestingly enough, it's actually given Tony some outs. There's 3 10s in the deck. That would give him a straight, but you say this pot is over as well?
Well, I think if London bets here, then I think Tony Bloom will fold. Depending on how big the bet is, Tony might think he might be priced in here.
10,000.
I think that's enough to scare Tony off.
Top 2 pair, king high flush draw. Take a picture of this hand, Ma. I'm gonna win the pot.
Tony knows there's only 4 cards in the pack that can win this hand for him. So, and maybe he thinks there could be only 3 because maybe he thinks that London's on a flush draw.
Tony, of course, just back from Las Vegas, where he was very successful in they call the Tournament of Champions there. Do you think he's guilty of showing a little bit of early impatience here?
Quite possibly. He's an aggressive player, and he does. I've seen him play before. He does raise with those semi hands or those trash hands. So that's his way of playing. He's one of those players that either wins the tournament or goes out quite early.
Eddie London not going to show the hand, but that smile says it all. Big hand, nice pot, settle the nerves, and he might be a bit of a player, this Scott.
Yeah, he played it very, very well.
And that will make Eddie London the early chip leader. But there hasn't been all that much movement, although Tony Bloom, bottom of the board. So the early days, early doors play has really given us no indication of what's to come here, except that I think even with the inexperienced players, Michael, we've got some poker play here. I mean, both Brett Dunstan and Eddie London seem quite comfortable at the table.
Pass. Raise to 5,000 total.
2 10s, and the raise is to 5,000. That's 2 plus 3. And
oh, there could be some
Re-raise,
action
5,000
here.
more, 10 total.
it certainly is. This is the first big matchup we've had between Achilles and Tony, and it's a minimum re-raise just about. Only a re-raise of 5,000. Achilles is looking for action here, and Tony could hang himself.
Pass.
Could you see Tony re-raising all in?
No call.
There could be fireworks here.
Now, Tony has chosen to just call, and unless a 10 comes on this flop, it's hard to see how Bloom is going to get away from this. He'll want to see some big cards there.
Wow. What a flop for Achilles.
It's actually kind of fortunate for Tony Bloom.
It's very fortunate.
It may help him to get away from this hand.
I think he will.
3 kings is the nuts for Achilles.
5,000.
What a he's done all but hook a cow up to a machine. I mean, what a milking bet this is.
It's a hell of a milking bet. He'll call this. He'll call this, Tony. He's getting odds. It looks like he's going to even raise him.
It does look like he's going to raise him. Has Achilles set a great trap here?
Like I said, there's been history between these two guys before, and there's going to be fireworks.
4 reds would have been 20,000. Tony Bloom just calling for the 5. If a 10 comes, it'll be some wild stuff. This pot 33,000. Bloom's best bet is a running flush draw.
Wow, that's got to be a little bit of a scare card for Achilles. For both of them, to be honest. Tony's got to think he's losing at the moment. There's 3 overcards here.
Tony Bloom, 4 jacks are his winners.
15,000.
And Achilles just trying to reel Tony in like a fish.
I think that'll be enough to scare him off.
These cards can't keep helping you, can they?
You can't what?
Keep getting better for
With every new card.
Let the banter begin.
I'll tell you what. It's like cloak and dagger stuff. Achilles
Yeah.
crafty, Tony trying to draw him out. But in the end, those 3 overcards is what really told the story, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got away from that quite lightly. If there were three cards under 10 on that flop, I think you would have seen a lot of chips go in the middle. I think he got away from that lightly, Tony Bloom. Let's just say he got very lucky.
I'm Tony Bloom, nicknamed the Lizard. I've got a little mascot, my lucky gold lizard. I think tonight you can expect perhaps the unexpected. I'm really not sure what's going to happen, but I'm pretty confident that something good will happen tonight. I hope so.
Things aren't really going Tony Bloom's way at the moment, are they?
Well, I mean, is it way too early to even think about panicking?
No.
Tony, I mean, obviously, Tony,
Pass.
knows the strategy of these one tables well, and you don't want to lose too many chips
Pass.
during that first level, do you?
No, exactly.
Pass.
But still, we haven't seen any hole cards, have we? No one's actually shown their hand.
That's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Well, you've been on tables in the... Oh, wow, and here's Mickey Wernick now. I
We're
think.
Raise
we're getting some
2,000 more
huge
for a
hands.
total.
We've only had about 7 or 8 deals, and we've already had pocket kings, aces, and jacks, and tens.
Brett Dunson will be well
Cool.
excused for peeling off that flop. This can only be trouble for the Canadian. Wernick with the pocket aces.
Wernick knows that if a few high cards come on the flop, he's got to make some kind of move. Oh dear. This could be trouble for the Canadian.
It's cold deck city. I mean, it's cold in Alberta, but
4,000.
Dunson is going to need a lot of experience to get away from this.
He could even raise here to see where he's at. Yep, he's reaching for his red chips.
Raise 10,000 more, 14 total.
Got to see a re-raise here from Mick.
That's a quick, deep reach from the Reds. Is a re-raise here the right move?
I think so, yeah. He's got to re-raise him now. There are 2 clubs on the flop as well. There could be a flush draw there for Dunstan.
Come
but
on.
Yeah.
Re-raise all in.
I mean, that's a bit excessive, but that's flying him off. Mick wanted to win the pot there and then, and that was the move.
Mickey Wernick sent a cannonball out there to do a pea shooter's job, but it was enough. And
It was more than enough.
No, I forgot already. No,
there's some big cards in this deck.
Yeah, there are some big cards in this deck. And yet there's been relatively small damage.
Pass.
Pownell's starting to bear the brunt of this. He won the first 2 pots, but since then it's been very slow for him. And now with the 7 high, it's almost like he's come here with a game plan today where he's told himself he's going to take time with every decision.
Raise
Exactly.
7,000 total.
And here we go. Mick's going to up the pressure now. He's raised with garbage.
Tony,
Call.
Tony Bloom's got way the best of this. Mickey Wernick has
Pass.
a queen in a rag, basically. He's going to the ball without being dressed up, and Tony Bloom has come with the clothes on.
The only good thing, he's got position on Tony here, which is always very important after the flop,
But Tony clearly respects Mickey. He's only called with this ace-jack.
of course.
And interestingly, a couple face cards out there, but ace-high still leading.
Check.
That's a
15,000.
strong bet.
It's a very, very strong bet. I think it could be enough to win the pot. Yep,
Pass.
good bet, Mick.
Wow.
Good bet, Mick.
Tony Bloom has just gotten back from Las Vegas where he was playing with Phil Hellmuth, Mike Matusow. But here Mickey Wernick is teaching him the business.
Yeah, that's a great play by Mick there. Great play.
I mean, was Mickey thinking something like, if you can't re-raise before the flop, then you can't call a bet on the flop?
Exactly. if Tony had re-raised him there, Mick would have obviously folded. But he's obviously respects Mick's raise enough, so he's just flat called him.